So this is the first goal in the Philadelphia Union versus Toronto FC match. This goal comes courtesy by Indiana Vassilev. And so on the ball here, you have Teo Cabino, who's going to go ahead and play it into Coelho, who's just going to switch fields over to Richie Larea, who takes a bad touch right here. Kai Wagner first to react to it, and good hold-up play right there by Bruno Damiani. But one thing I want to point out right here is Toronto, they started this game playing a back five, a back three when they went on the attack. And they played that for about 25 minutes until they decided, we're giving the Union way too much time, way too much space on the right side of the field. That's exactly where the goal comes on this play with Indiana Vassilev, because Cabino, who's naturally more of a forward, gets played as a wingback in this formation. And there was multiple times in the first half where he doesn't track back, and the Union had lots of space on the right-hand side of the field, whether it be with Indiana Vassilev or Nathan Harriel, and the Union take advantage of it on this play with Indy. And so you see the three center backs there for Toronto in the middle of the field, and then the two fullbacks pushed extremely high up on the field. And so the Union just going to go ahead and slow this down, reset the play with Alouette Makanya. And this is so key for the Union breaking down Toronto. They make these triangles with Kai Wagner, Danley John-Jock, and Quinn Sullivan. And it's just quick one-time passing, just movement into space. And so Danley John-Jock going to receive this by Quinn Sullivan. And again, it's just that forward run into space, taking players out of position. Quinn Sullivan did a good job taking Rosted, one of the three center backs, out of position there, which then leaves Ty Baribo, Bruno Damiani 1v1 against the other two center backs. You have a whole bunch of space for Vassilev on the right-hand side of the field because Cabino isn't tracking back. And so this is just really good awareness here by Ty Baribo to find Indy. Takes a really good right touch there, and he's in lots of space here. And it's a really good finish there by Indy with his weaker right foot to put the Union up early in this game 1-0. But it kind of costs the Union, right? Because they get such an early goal in this game, and then they take their foot off the pedal in the first half. And really, we see half chances in the second half, a lot of shots from outside the box. We didn't see too many more moments like this from the Union in this game because of the correction Toronto made, switching back to a back four, from a back three to a back four. Again, there's a bad touch there by Richie Larea. Kai Wagner wins a 50-50 ball. Bruno Damiani, good touch here, and just going to reset the play. And because of that, you can make those triangles. You have a ton of space because look at that right there. You have Larea going to put pressure on the ball. You have Danley John-Jock running past Osorio, and then Quinn Sullivan, who I had said he's going to receive this pass from Kai Wagner, pulls one of the three center backs, Rosted, out of position here. And so Danley can just go ahead and attack that space, a lot of space in the middle of the field, and it comes from the movement, from the quick passing by the Union. Really good passing, and Danley continues his run, and then Indy finds a space because the wingback does not track back. And unfortunately for the Union, they had a couple of looks like this in the first half. They couldn't get the ball quick enough out to Indy Vassilev or Nathan Harriel. And credit to Toronto for correcting that mistake early on in the first half of this game, realizing that they're giving it way too much time and space, but Indy makes best of that situation. This is the final goal in the Philadelphia Union versus Toronto FC match. This one comes courtesy by Toronto's DeAndre Kerr in the 91st minute. So Toronto on the ball here. You're going to see a little bit of pressure applied here by Alejandro Bedoya. Ball gets played out wide here. And what's interesting to note right here is the positioning between Danley John-Jock and Jovan Lukic. You can see that Jovan's pushed up slightly higher, just in case, right? The ball gets played right in the center. Jovan's protecting that space. You also have Kevin Sullivan out wide there. But for me, Jovan should probably be a little bit more in line with Danley John-Jock. And because of that, because Jovan's pushed a little higher up, Toronto's able to push this pass right past Jovan Lukic. Nathan Harriel gets caught in no man's land right here, and now Toronto can just go ahead and swing this ball out wide because you can see how the Union are defending right here with Jacob Glesnes and Alouette Makanya, both on DeAndre Kerr here. Kai Wagner gives a lot of space out wide to Malik Henry, and I want to point out his positioning. Just notice how slow Kai Wagner is to closing down the ball that's played out wide. He gives Henry so much time and space, Wagner just casually walking, casually. Not closing this down, just way too much time and space here allowed by Kai Wagner. It's a perfect cross by Henry into Kerr, who heads it home. Powerful header there into the ground. Nothing Andre Blake could do there in the 91st minute. But this play could have been avoided. Multiple reasons. You have Jovan Lukic, who, again, I think a little bit high up on the field, should have been dropped back a little bit deeper to pick out that pass initially played in the middle. The ball eventually gets played out wide, where Kai Wagner, he's got to be better. He just casually closes it down. The ball played in, Jovan can't close it down, and then you see Kai just casually walking out there. And then this is pretty poor defending by Jacob Glesnes. He has this defended well on goal side, but then he allows DeAndre Kerr just a step right in front of him, and Jacob's got to be stronger on this play. It's got to be better man marking, 1v1 defending from Jacob here, and it's just a simple move, cut inside, and Jacob just doesn't follow it through. And maybe the cross doesn't get played in as well as it did by Henry if Kai Wagner closes down the space, if he doesn't give him enough time to go ahead and play this cross in. Just overall, multiple mistakes here on this play by the Union that sees them once again concede an equalizer in stoppage time. Next thing we'll take a look at is some key chances in this game by the Union. And it is crazy when you go back and rewatch this game, rewatch the film, that the Union's best chances in this game, besides the goal from Indiana Vassilev, came outside the 18-yard box. And it's always going to take a special strike to beat the goalie from outside the 18. And Toronto did such a good job this game, just closing down space quickly, playing man marking, really not allowing the Union to get much separation whatsoever. And Toronto, you're seeing it on a couple plays here where they were fine giving the Union shots outside the 18-yard box, man marking out wide so the Union couldn't get crosses in, doing a good job marking Bruno Damiani and Ty Baribo inside the 18-yard box, making sure that they don't get on the end of some crosses either from Kai Wagner or from Quinn Sullivan. And so you see right here in this first play with the Union, it's a throw-in, Nathan Harriel, long throw-in down the line, gets cleared away. And so we're going to see Harriel try it once again. And Nathan, we know he has this in his arsenal. He's one of the Union's most athletic players, and so it's a great throw-in down the line to Quinn Sullivan. Quinn Sullivan has the pace, one of the Union's best 1v1 dribblers, and this is something I've said on the podcast multiple times where, I want to see Quinn take players on 1v1 a lot more because he has the ability. I believe he is the Union's best 1v1 taker, and you see it right here on this play, but this is what I was talking about. Toronto, they have everything covered inside the 18-yard box. You have your back four, and then you have your two defensive midfielders right there, and so they have everything covered, making sure Quinn Sullivan can't get across inside the box for Indiana Vassilev, Ty Baribo are the two players inside the 18 right now. You eventually have Bruno Damiani move inside, but Toronto's fine with that. They say, we have it covered, we believe in our 1v1 defending, and you see the space for Danley John Jock, and a play coming up here, it's a little bit similar too, and so Quinn's just going to slow down this play and then eventually play the cutback. Good dribbling right here by Quinn, and then the first time shot off target, but that's exactly what Toronto want because they're so good at man marking and closing down the space quickly. And so we're going to see a fast attack here by Toronto and then a good save there by Andre Blake. And Andre's going to go ahead and just spring the counterattack. Ball played out wide to Kai Wagner. Wagner down the line into Indiana Vassilev. And Vasilev's going to go ahead and beat his player right here on the dribble. And instead of playing cutback pass, because you can see Danley John Jock running into space again, that's obviously what Toronto would want on this play, is have everything covered inside the 18. But instead, Bruno Damiani just a clever movement right here. Instead of making that run towards the front post, he's just going to backtrack right now and create a little bit of separation. And fans, get frustrated with the chances that Bruno Damiani misses, and I understand that completely. But Bruno's so good at hold-up play, especially in the 18-yard box. He's good at creating separation for himself, and it's just this little movement. And so you're going to see him backpedal right here into space, and then the first-time shot over the bar. And it's good play there by the Union to find an opportunity inside the 18. Right here, again, great hold-up play and then pass by Bruno Damiani. into space for Ty Baribo. And what I love here on this play is because Baribo's run, the pass from Damiani into Ty, it pulls out Rosted, one of the center backs for Toronto. And so then that gives the space for Quinn Sullivan to run into. So the ball goes into Ty. Ty going to flip this over, and that's a huge chance wasted for the Union. It's really good movement from Damiani, Baribo, and Quinn Sullivan, and that's one you want to see Quinn hit on target. And so another long throw in here by Nathan Harriel. It's another outside the box shot for the Union. Eventually goes out for a goal kick, but it's exactly how Toronto approached this game once they switched to a back four. Just better 1v1 defending. We'll keep our fullbacks back, and Toronto did a really good job defending the Union. But again, we're going to see an opportunity right here for the Union where, just like that first play we saw with Danley John Jock, it's a ball played forward into Quinn Sullivan. But what's different about this is you have so much attention on Quinn Sullivan here in the 86th minute. You have, this time, Mikhail Uhre and Milan Orlovsky inside the 18 for the Union. And instead of trying to play this cross, Quinn's going to play another cutback pass for Danley John Jock. And Danley has all this space because the Toronto players get caught ball watching. Everybody's focusing on Quinn Sullivan. They're aware of his 1v1 ability. They're aware that he can create something out of nothing. And so you have both defensive midfielders looking at Quinn. You have the outside box looking at Quinn, and it allows so much space outside the 18 for Danley to run into. He eventually takes a shot inside the 18, but this was the moment for the Union to kill off the game. This is such a huge chance. And so Quinn does enough to create space, cutback pass, and it's a really, really good save there by the goalkeeper. Yeah, maybe you would want Danley to put that one a little bit more towards the corner, but regardless, it's a great save there. It's great movement by Quinn Sullivan, his 1v1 ability right here, just slowing the play down, dribble, and then he looks up, sees Danley in a lot of space. It's a really good cutback pass and an even better save there by Toronto.